What I'm saying now in this video, I said this before, and if you're here for the first time, please watch my previous video before making judgments about new videos you're making, because many of the things I'm talking about here, I referred to them before in longer teachings I made previous years. Hold on, let me walk through this. Look, when it comes to safety, I already explained that you need to cast out the spirit of violence. I'm saying those are demonic spirits that keep you under a negative tension that enables physical violence. Because violence is a paranormal thing, it's not natural. It's an alien thing to the human nature. Even though there are pagan scientists that want you to think otherwise, that violence is a part of human development, all lies, okay? Fear itself is alien to human nature. That fight and flight response that your body has is just a defense mechanism to keep your body safe. It's not fear, okay? But people confuse that sense of danger for fear. So they think fear is a natural part of your human existence. That's a lie. But okay. And by the way, if fear was natural and even part of our human development, the Messiah would have given us spirits of fear. But it says God has not given us a spirit of fear. Oh, this should make you think, oh, that means fear is not from God. So if God does not operate in fear, then that means that fear is not beneficial nor good to the human species. Plain and simple. But okay. I said before that you need to cast out the spirit of violence. I said it. Now, about the spirit of violence, those entities can only remain operative when the population enables them. And how do people enable the spirits of violence? Through fearful thinking. For example, let's say you are entering a train and suddenly you bump into the train, okay, because you're being pushed, because that sometimes happens in public. People push each other when in public transport. Well, people are in a rush. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it happens. I've witnessed Tokyo rush hour in Japan. Oh, and people go off at each other there. But they remain polite, but man, they really are pushing one another. Man, it's quite rough. If you can't stand rush hour in your own country, don't go in a public transport doing rush hour in Japan. But okay. So, let's say you bump into someone, and that individual you bumped into thinks someone else bumped into him, and he begins to knock that individual out. What happened? It's your fault that other individual got knocked out? No. That guy who felt that someone bumped into him, he reacted by transferring his pain onto a target nearby. He is wrong. Pure and simple. So that guy needs to be dealt with sternly. But what happens often, people come with stupid explanations to justify someone's relief seeking. But there's the thing, let's say you're there, okay, and you've been freed from spirits of violence. You don't have that paranormal hold on you of violence anymore. Let's say someone is triggered and he or she looks for an outlet. Let's say you stand there. The fact that you have this cover on you that deflects negative energy means that he or she can't transfer negative energy on you, because that physical movement is just the outworking of him or her transferring or projecting negative energy on you. But if you're freed from the spirit of violence, anytime they project it onto you, it bounces back. So they feel as if they are knocked out themselves, and they imagine them knocking you out. So that terrifies them and they're off. So you don't need a gun, you don't need to know karate or any of those other paranormal disciplines. You just need to be freed from the spirit of violence. You need to get that paranormal hold must be broken off of you. And when that happens, nobody can transfer violence onto you. Now, when the violence deflects, when the negative energy deflects, it will affect your environment, but it cannot harm you. You may sense the energetic contention against you, but it can't come near you. And oh dear, you have no idea how free you are, how many more possibilities you have when you're free from spirits of violence. And you know what? That is what surprises me. Well, it shouldn't surprise me, but that's what surprised me. Let me say it better. It surprised me in the past. Why? Many of those truthers that come out and tell the truth about Illuminati, about conspiracies. There are even people that come in the name of Christ talking about conspiracy and all of that. It surprised me how so many of them have so much knowledge of the paranormal, but they never tell people you need to be freed from the spirit of violence. They never tell people that. And don't you know that if you're not free from violence, you have no safety? Don't you know that if you don't have any cover that deflects negative energy, anything can happen to you anytime, and you can lose your life, you can lose your health, you can lose things around, stuff around you? If you're not freed from the paranormal grip of violence, then you don't have real safety. Straight up. And I explain that on this channel. Me, I have no time for compensations. When you carry a gun with you, that may be effective in scaring off a perpetrator, but that's just compensation. That does not hinder the next energy from affecting you. What you should have is that you have this cover around you, energetic, that anytime there's next energy coming, it goes back. That's what you need to have. Now, Satan offers a counterfeit of real safety in the paranormal, and that's when you get a charm. And the charm also deflects next energy, but a charm will expire. And here's the thing, when you have the real protection in Christ, not only do you does it deflect next energy, but you can also trample and destroy the next energy. And not only that, you can even affect the centers of next energy all wherever they are on the earth. So whether it's someone in New York, for example, a group of people mentally negatively about you, and you're in Africa, all the way to New York, you can affect them in their homes, wherever they are, and they know we can't negatively upon that guy or that girl anymore. That's what you can do when you agree with Christ. Look, I'm not going to teach you compensations here, I'm teaching you the real thing. Don't you know that many people, you should know this by now, but don't you know that many folks, the reason they remain in poverty is because they are not freed from the spirit of violence. Understand this, without violence there is no poverty. And check this out, when you have abundance, financial abundance leads to material abundance. Okay, so anytime you have abundance, you have an impact. And that impact will be felt and experienced by others. And violence is all about saying no to the impact of others. It's all about maintaining your will at all costs. That's what violence is. Violence is really the individual seeking worship. Now, you can face violence with violence, and it may work, but you're still left with a negative tension. You can get a charm in which you get relief from the violence, but the violence is still there, and it's still limiting you. For example, if you have a charm that relieves you from violence, you will still face health issues and other stuff because all the psychic bombs that are being thrown at you. When you walk supernaturally, you trample upon the violence. And man, nobody dares to have any negative will against you. And that's how I walk. That's why I keep making videos, despite many people hating me making these videos. My influence will increase and increase despite the many that fight against it. When you are free from the spirit of violence, I'm telling you, real abundance comes automatically. Because the spirits of violence, they will hinder the manifestation of real prosperity. That is what their purpose is. Just think about it. If you have abundance, you don't have to put up with the negative will of your boss. You don't have to put up with the bad attitudes of other people. Because you have abundance, you have options. When you don't have options, you will have to find a way to put up or deal or cope with stuff. So real abundance, including financial abundance, is relevant. If you have a kid, for example, that's in foster care, and he's in danger there, and you have abundance, you can pick up the kid from there and put him somewhere else. So financial abundance, the abundance in general, is relevant. It is important. The enemy doesn't want you to walk in abundance. I do. That's why I go to the root. You need to be free from the spirit of violence. I encounter many people who died before their time. They accumulate many diseases in their bodies because they're not freed from violence. They're not violent individuals, they're not looking for fights. They are well-mannered people, but still they are being destroyed. Still they're dying off eternally. Why? Because they're under the grip of the spirit of violence. And if you would speak with such people, you would realize, hold on a minute, why do you put up with so much stuff? They don't even know they're putting up with a lot of stuff. And here's the thing, in the world when you confront violence, you can get harmed or killed. So I can understand that people sometimes don't confront it. Here's the thing, when you're freed from the spirit of violence, your deliverance itself is a confrontation that violence can't handle. So you don't even have to directly confront things. You can just be there, and already these violent structures are collapsing. That's how I want you to be. So, that's all I say for now. And really, I recommend you to agree with Christ that you're free from the spirit of violence. And you know what? I've overcome the spirit of violence, and that's why I keep expanding and expanding. Okay, I keep doing that. That's why I keep making videos, I keep writing books, I keep doing this and that. I'll keep expanding as long as I'm in this body. Because no negative energy will succeed against me. Well, I want you to be similar. I want you to agree with Christ and walk in real abundance. So I decree supernatural abundance on your behalf right now in Christ Jesus' mighty name. It will overtake you and follow you wherever you are. Be at peace.